The US has voiced sharp criticism of India's reluctance to import American corn. US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has been particularly vocal, accusing India of blocking US farmers from accessing its market. Lutnick has called on India to open its agricultural sector and embrace free trade principles. The US argues that its corn is of high quality and competitively priced, offering a good deal for Indian consumers. However, India has resisted these calls, citing the need to protect its own farmers and prioritize domestic production. This disagreement over corn imports is emblematic of a broader trade dispute between the two countries. The US contends that India's trade policies are unfair and protectionist, creating barriers to American goods. India, on the other hand, argues that it has the right to safeguard its own interests and that its trade policies are in line with global norms. The standoff over corn exposes the deep divisions that continue to plague US-India trade relations. The dispute over corn imports is playing out against the backdrop of an escalating trade war between the US and India. Both countries have imposed tariffs on each other's goods, leading to increased costs for businesses and consumers. Agriculture has become a key battleground in this trade war. The US sees India as a potentially lucrative market for its agricultural exports, particularly for products like corn, wheat, and soybeans. India, however, has been reluctant to open its agricultural sector, fearing that an influx of cheaper American imports could devastate its domestic farmers. The US has accused India of being a tariff king, pointing to its high import duties on agricultural products. India counters that it needs to protect its vulnerable farming community and ensure food security for its vast population. The trade war has strained relations between the two countries and cast a shadow over their economic partnership. To understand India's stance, it's crucial to recognize the remarkable transformation of its agricultural sector. Once plagued by famines and food shortages, India has achieved food security and become a major agricultural exporter. This remarkable turnaround is a testament to the hard work of Indian farmers and the government's investments in agricultural research and development. India's Green Revolution, launched in the 1960s, led to a significant increase in food grain production, making the country self-sufficient in staples like rice and wheat. Today, India is a leading producer of rice, wheat, cotton, sugarcane, and milk. It has also emerged as a significant exporter of agricultural products, supplying global markets with spices, tea, coffee, and fruits. Despite these achievements, challenges remain. Indian agriculture is still characterized by low productivity, fragmented landholdings, and dependence on the monsoon rains. The government is working to address these issues through various schemes and policies aimed at improving infrastructure, promoting technology adoption, and enhancing farmers' incomes. Section 4. Shielding the heartland high tariffs and the protection of Indian farmers. Central to India's trade policy is the need to protect its vast and vulnerable farming community. Agriculture remains the backbone of the Indian economy, employing nearly half of the country's workforce. However, Indian farmers are predominantly smallholders with limited land and resources. They are highly susceptible to fluctuations in global commodity prices and face stiff competition from heavily subsidized farmers in developed countries. To shield its farmers from these external shocks, India maintains high tariffs on agricultural imports. These tariffs are designed to make imported agricultural goods more expensive, thereby protecting domestic producers from being priced out of the market. While critics argue that these tariffs are protectionist and distort trade, India maintains that they are essential for safeguarding the livelihoods of millions of farmers. The government argues that it has a responsibility to ensure the well-being of its rural population and prevent a mass exodus from agriculture, which could have destabilizing social and economic consequences. Section 5. A matter of balanced trade deficits and U.S. demands. The U.S. has repeatedly expressed concerns about its trade deficit with India, particularly in the agricultural sector. The U.S. argues that India's high tariffs and non-tariff barriers restrict American agricultural exports, contributing to the trade imbalance. U.S. officials have urged India to reduce tariffs, open its market wider to American goods, and address sanitary and phytosanitary measures that they claim are used to block US products. The US sees India's large and growing population as a potential market for its agricultural surplus, particularly for commodities like corn and soybeans. However, India counters that the trade balance should not be the sole focus of the relationship. It argues that the US should also address India's concerns, such as restrictions on the export of certain high-technology products and the mobility of skilled professionals. India maintains that it is committed to free and fair trade, but that it will not compromise on its core interests, including the protection of its farmers and the livelihoods they support.